We have another great winter series cocktail today. Today's cocktail is an amazing experience for sure. It's a really amazing cocktail as well, but I don't know if you can see, it is a smoked cocktail. It's called the Volcanic Ash. And I really got to be honest with you, I don't smoke, but I like smoked cocktails with a caveat. Smoked cocktails are a cocktail experience, and you know that I love experience cocktails, roller coaster cocktails, and so on. You get your theatrics from the smoke, but it really serves another purpose, and that's the infusion of the cocktail, and you know that I love my infusions. I think you have to be on point at matching the right wood chips with the right combination of booze, so that's kind of fun to figure out. Today's cocktail is made with rum, and rum is a whole rabbit hole in itself. As you know, rum pairings with cigars, for instance. I know that's a whole big thing, but this is like combining both of those things into one incredible experience. Let me taste it for you real quick. The tasting notes are rich, and yes, you get that smoke, but just by smelling it to start off, that smoke really brings out the rich caramely notes of the rum that I use, and we're using Macadamia Nut Liqueur. It's prominent on the nose in there as well. Just kind of an island smell. It's super, super good. And then we have all those deep chocolate notes that come, of course, from the bitters that I'm going to use, and coffee liqueur. I'm going to use that as well. The smoke just makes this an experienced cocktail full of rich, lovely flavors. It's even got almost, I would say, a fruity flavor from the chips that I used, but this really is a wonderful cocktail. Even if you don't have the foghat smoker, you don't need that. But enough talking. Let me go over the ingredients so you can experience the Volcanic Ash as well. I found the Volcanic Ash cocktail on Boston Tiki Party's page, which I follow over on Instagram. Boston Tiki Party's page has lots of tiki cocktails, of course, but oftentimes they'll take a classic cocktail that's not tiki and then tiki it up. But today there's no citrus in the cocktail, so it might not seem real tiki, but actually we're gonna build this in the mixing glass, and I have my little smoker out here, but you don't have to have that. It's a really good cocktail either way. So I'm gonna start with my bitters so I don't forget. 4 to 5 dashes of Xocolati mole bitters. I'm going with 4 of those. These really deepen the flavor of our next cocktail ingredient, which is a bar spoon of Demerara simple syrup. Next up, we have a 1/4 ounce of coffee liqueur. So I'm using Mr. Black today because I don't have another coffee liqueur, but I used this in the Mr. Bird Tiki cocktail here on the channel, and I really liked it. I don't really drink coffee, but this does bring a lot of chocolate notes in. 1/2 ounce of Macadamia Nut Liqueur. I'm using Trader Vic's today, but you could sub Frangelico. That would still produce a really nice tasting cocktail. 1/2 ounce of Overproof Rum. I'm using OFTD today. I sipped this neat once and I actually was surprised at how nice it was, though I thought it was gonna burn my tongue off. If you don't have OFTD, you could go with Smith & Cross if you wanted to, and I think that would be a really nice cocktail, or you could split the base with OFTD and Smith & Cross. Next up, we have 1 ounce of Jamaican rum. I'm using the Reserve. It's gonna bring a really nice caramely note to this cocktail. So then we're going to stir this up with some ice. Get some stuff out of our way. I'm gonna move this off to the side for just a minute because I'm gonna get my little chips out and my fog hat. I was gifted this kit by my friend for my birthday a couple of years ago. Her name is Rini. I believe it comes with a few more different types of chips, but she bought quite a bit more, and that's what you're seeing now. This recipe does not specify what flavor of chips you should use, but I used bourbon chips at first. You do get more of a barrel taste if you use those, but I found it to be a little overpowering for the rum, and it really muted it a little bit. So I went with cherry chips. They seemed a little more tiki. So I'll just fill the little hopper with some cherry chips. And then we're gonna get the cocktail into our glass. Next up, I'm gonna put the hopper on top and light this up. We only wanna do this for 10 seconds. Longer than that is just too much for this cocktail. You don't really need to smoke it that much. So let's start this. So you want to let it sit there for about 10 seconds. That is the Volcanic Ash. This is such a rich, yummy, great sipper. So I really want to thank my friend Rini for the foghat. It's been fun to figure out the booze and the wood chip combos. The cherry chips that I used for the cocktail gave it a more fruity flavor for sure. It's an experience that you really should try if you have this foghat. But if you don't, then you're looking at a really, really great rum old fashioned, and it's still going to be an excellent experience for you. Go follow Boston Tiki Party on Instagram and follow me at Home Bartender Ann if you don't already. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you try the Volcanic Ash, please tag me on Instagram and let me know that you have. I'd like to know what you think. See you next week. You know I'll have another interesting cocktail for you then. Until then, be well. See you next time.